Hello everyone, meteorologist Chris Sowers here. You know, people come up to me all the time and they ask me, who do you trust to do work on your home? Well, for me, the answer's simple. It's Bobby and Tim at Realistic Exterior. They've earned a reputation for quality roofing and siding across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware by doing the job right and standing by the work that they do. Just take a look at all of their 5-star reviews. That right there pretty much tells you everything you need to know. Try their free AI roof estimate tool. It'll give you a ballpark estimate before you even schedule an appointment, so you'll know what to expect. Now, I have to tell you something about this Bobby. He's just one of those guys you don't forget. Visit realisticexterior.com and watch his videos. You'll laugh, you'll see his personality, his passion, and you'll understand why homeowners trust him and his team. For quality craftsmanship, honest service, and a contractor that you can count on, call Realistic Exterior. The weather can be unpredictable at times, but your contractor shouldn't be.
All right. Wait, where are you going? Wait, we're live. All right, watch that step. We're live.
Bug.
Huh?
Bug.
I know, it's a bug. What's going on, everybody? Hello. Come on.
Mom, there's a bug on the couch out here.
Okay, just watch your step, okay? And look, you see Murphy over there. How's everybody doing? Good morning. Sunday morning. See him right there on the sidewalk? Over this way. There he is.
Where?
Look. He's on Mateo's driveway. How we doing today? Good morning, everyone. Sunday morning. What is today? It's August 16th. Holy smokes. Is it already? Well, that's good. That's good. Another day during the month of August gets us closer and closer to the Burr months. That's how I look at it. I know. Okay, just got to make sure the volume looks good. All right, so how was your day yesterday? How'd you guys do? I mean, it was a great day. Really, really nice. Paigey and I were swimming in my brother's pool by like 9:45 in the morning. It was hysterical. I mean, I can only think of a handful of times I've been swimming that early in the morning. Lori goes to work. I asked Paigey what she wanted to do. She says, I want to go swimming. I said, okay, let's go swimming. It's about 9:45. We're in the pool already swimming. I think we were swimming until about maybe 11:45, 12 o'clock or so, and then came home and grabbed some lunch, and it was just like a daddy-daughter day. Went to downtown Pittman yesterday evening. Really, really nice. Always is on a Saturday evening. A lot of really nice local mom-and-pop stores and restaurants. You know, the downtown Pittman area, if you've never been, it reminds me a lot of the Haddonfield downtown area. It's just really, I don't even know how to describe it. It just has that cozy, being at home feel. You know what I mean? A lot of you're walking down the street, it's Broadway, you're walking down Broadway, and you've got a couple of these local, I don't even know what you would call them. They're not lounge, well, maybe they're like a lounge, but the music's playing, and you can sit down, and you can get a drink, and it's just really, really nice. And then there's a place called Martini's across the street, which is a really nice restaurant right next to the theater. And then they have this really good ice cream place called Alora's, and then they have a bunch of really, really nice antique stores there. There's a pizza restaurant, an Italian restaurant, a steak restaurant. I mean, it's just a really neat. You ever looking for something new to do and you haven't done it, all right? Just go to downtown Pittman, all right? Pittman, New Jersey, Gloucester County. Go on a Friday or Saturday evening, maybe 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in that ballpark, and just walk down the street and you'll see what I mean. It's really, really nice. It reminds me of the Haddonfield area. We had a great time. It was Lori and I, and we brought Murphy, and we brought Paigey, of course. And honestly, I think that did Murphy a lot of good. He was, I don't know, he was out of the house, and we were walking up and down the strip there, and he just seemed happy. He seemed really, really happy to get out. Everybody was petting him, and so yeah, it was nice. We had a nice evening. Let me turn the comments on, and so I can see who we got in the house today. Come on, chat, wake up. Come on, we're live. Come on, stop sleeping on me. All right, hold on, my chat's not. Good thing I got my phone. If the chat here is not working. Oh, and everybody. Here's another really exciting. Come on, why is that not working? Come on. Chat. All right, I'm waiting for the restream. I'm going to have to do comments this way until that shows up there. I don't know why that's giving me a hard time. Let's see. Month of August gets us closer and closer to the burn. Okay, so here we go. As that thing is still trying to load. Good morning, Chris. We got Donna in the house. I'm getting Dawn says, I'm getting a rainy birthday. Yuck. Well, where are you tuning in from? Because I got to be honest, if you look at the entire viewing area, Poconos down to southern Delaware, let's just say Harrisburg to the Jersey Shore, not everybody's going to see the same thing today. For example, the Jersey Shore might not even get any rain until after 4 p.m. So, it just depends on where you are. Philly, I would say the rain's probably in the city by midday, give or take a half hour or whatever. But I would say, the morning's fine. It's 7:30 in the morning. You have now until at least noon to get out and do whatever you got to do, in Philadelphia. Far western counties, yeah, it's going to arrive a little bit sooner. If you're in Reading, Fleetwood, Lancaster, there's a town called Paradise out there in Lancaster County. If you're in York County, right there along 83, heading north or south, in and out of the Harrisburg area, then the rain's going to come in quicker, and yes, it's going to be a messy day. But, it just depends on where you are. I think everybody will eventually get in on the act, though, at some point later today. We got Sheila in the house. Good morning, Millville. Lois is in the house. Mary says, awesome. Mary says, good morning. Norma is in the house. Good morning. Maria says, thank you, Chris. She's living in Pittman. Pittman loves you. And I love Pittman. Thank you. Let's see. That was Maria Carmalingo Regal. Georgianne says, good morning. Hello. Christine says, good morning, Chris. Praying for rain in Hilltown, PA. Hilltown. Where is that, my friend? What county is that? You know what was funny is, and I didn't load this up. I probably should have, but I wasn't thinking about drought information. But what was interesting was, if you look at a large part of the viewing area, it's doing really, really well as far as the drought is concerned now. A lot of we've had a ton of rain, a ton. And so it's done a number on the drought. And there's a large part of the Philadelphia area that's not even in a drought anymore. And then all of a sudden you get out there into Berks County. And it's like it refuses to rain in Berks County. You go from, if you were to look at a map, the southeastern Pennsylvania suburbs, if you're looking at the Philadelphia television market, everybody's doing great. And then all of a sudden you get into Berks County and you're like, what the heck's going on here? Because we go from abnormally dry conditions, which isn't even technically a drought, to all of a sudden they're in a moderate or even severe drought out there in Berks County. It refuses to rain. The modeling is showing rain there later today, so hopefully you guys cash in. But I do see some rain in your neck of the woods a little bit later today. We got Samuel in the house. Good morning. We have Jerry in the house. Go at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How about 9? You know what, Jerry? I probably should have said 4 to 8 is your window, right? Or 4 to 9. But I do know things start closing. You're probably okay at 9. But I wouldn't go too much after that, too much later than that, because things will start closing. And that's why I was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Somewhere in that area. But anything past 9, and I'm just not sure. I know things start closing. But yes, Jerry, go at 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. All right, we got Val in the house. Good morning from Copley. Going to try and make it. Let's see. Leslie says, good morning. We need the rain in Hopewell Township. Now, is that Hopewell Township in Mercer County? Yes, that's probably, because I'm thinking Hamilton. Hamilton is both Atlantic and Mercer County. So Hopewell Township. Oh, wait a minute. There is a Hopewell Township in Cumberland County, too. So are you talking Hopewell Township in Cumberland County? Or are you talking Hopewell Township in Mercer County? Either way, good morning to you. Kathleen's watching. We got Marty in the house. Good morning. Norma's in the house. Dolores is in the house. Maria's in the house. Good morning from Ocean City. That's Samuel. He's checking in. We have Terry in the house. Hello from Cinnaminson, New Jersey. Cinnaminson. I don't know why. I've always had to spell it when I hear it. Daryl says, good morning from Northeast Philly. It's back to the teaching grind tomorrow. We'll then get out there and enjoy your day. By the way, have any of you guys started watching the preseason football? I forgot all about preseason football. And it just makes me feel good knowing that we're closer and closer to fall. I see the Eagles. The Eagles, I guess, have this new style running gun type, high profile type offense. So I want to check one of their games. I mean, I know it's preseason, so we're obviously not going to reveal our hands, to the entire league. But I do know they're doing a little bit. They're showcasing a little bit of it. So I'm interested to watch them play. We got Pensauken in the house. Good morning, Darlene. By the way, if you're wondering why I'm looking at this, my chat, which is right here, and I can normally look right here and read, isn't working this morning. So let me see. Maybe I'll refresh it. That didn't work either. All right, I'll keep. That's why my head's down. I'm reading the chats off the. Oh, that was pretty neat. There's a delay. All right, so Jackie says, good morning, Sours family from Radnor, PA. How are you, my friend? Deborah says, good morning from Gloucester City. Boy, we used to battle you guys in football. You guys were always a tough school to play. Sherry says, good morning to you, by the way. Sherry says, good morning from Boyertown, PA. That's Berks County. Kim says, good morning from Manchester Township, Ocean County. Dawn says, I'm here in West Deptford. West Deptford's always a powerhouse in wrestling. Good morning to you. Marianne, good morning, Chris. Nancy says, good morning. Cheryl says, Chris, good morning from Ben Salem. She's heading to Seaside today. And you know what? That's a good idea. Because the shore, if you got beach plans today, it's actually not a bad day down there. Now, you're going to get clouds, all right? Sunshine mixed with clouds. It's not one of those full sunny, I'm going to catch a tan type days, but it's not a bad day at all, honestly, down there. And bonus, you got a nice sea breeze blowing today at about maybe 15 to 25 miles per hour. So you're going to push that ocean air inland. And by afternoon, you're going to be like, holy smokes, it feels fantastic down here. All right, let's go over to the radar and show you what we're up against. Now, this doesn't look all that impressive, right? And I got to tell you here, let me go to the cam split. I got to tell you, okay, I'm not terribly impressed with this thing. And I even made a post a couple days ago talking about, the whole system. What we get out of this was the track. Everything was going to depend on the track, right? It's highly dependent on the track. And the modeling had been going back and forth, southern track, then it wants to bring it up in our neck of the woods, back to the southern track, back up, back down. But, it was just going back and forth and back and forth. It's never really sold. I think we're going to get some rain out of this. All right, I don't think there's any way to avoid the rain this afternoon. I still do not see this. I don't know. I don't want to say I don't see it being too big of a deal, and then all of a sudden it becomes a big deal tonight. But there is a chance there's a boundary coming through, and there is a chance that an area of low pressure could develop on the boundary. If that low develops on the boundary with the humidity coming back in today like gangbusters later in the day, evening, and especially overnight, then yeah, you could end up getting some pretty good downpours and maybe even a couple thunderstorms, especially from Philadelphia. Let's say in a line. Look at the map right there to the left. From Lancaster to Philadelphia to Toms River, from that line south. If we get the area of low pressure, okay, then yeah, there's a chance of some good downpours and thunderstorms. Now, also, if, because we're watching this, there's so many ifs with this. If it lifts a little bit farther to the north, then it's going to be areas north of the Pennsylvania Turnpike that get the heaviest rains out of this. And part of the reason why, sorry, as I've got something in my eye, part of the problem with this, and we were explaining this, because I know you're probably thinking to yourself, like, okay, Chris, well, if this, you get that. If this, you get that. It's like, make up your mind. I get it. So, part of the problem here is, this is such a small area of, look, I'm going to expand the view. Look at how tiny if you think, look at it. Look at the size of this thing. You see it? That's it. That's your system right there. If you look at the size of this thing compared to the size of the United States, this thing is just it's like a little quarter rolling across, a little ping pong ball rolling across. See that little spin? It is so small. It's almost like threading the needle. You've got to get, in order to get flash flooding, in order to get severe weather, you've got to thread the needle just right. Okay? And so, if this thing wobbles a little bit, yeah. So, honestly, I think what a good forecast for today is going to be, first part of the day's all right. Then, during the afternoon, you get showers and, maybe a period of rain, especially later in the day as we get closer and closer to sunset. And then evening and overnight, there could be a couple thunderstorms and a downpour, and that's it. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. Yes, I know the SPC has parts of and I'm going to show this, have parts of the area under for severe weather. And yes, I know the WPC has parts of the area under flash flood risk. I've told you how I have felt about, what they've done so far this year. I think they're very trigger happy. And I think they just pop, boom, 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 just keep pulling the trigger. And they keep popping these outlooks all the time for every little thing. And, I guess there is the possibility that you could get some flash flooding and a severe thunderstorm, but it's low. It is low. Again, I don't work for these government, agencies, so there's probably some kind of, criteria or whatever that has to be met, and that's, it's probably met, and that's why they're issuing the outlooks. But I I'm not really bullish on a lot of flash flooding and severe weather this evening and overnight. Okay, so here's a look real quick. I just want to go back over to the full radar. Again, there it is, right there. That's it. So I'll zoom in. You can almost see like this little... All right, let me zoom in real quick. See this right here? I'm going to hit stop real quick right there. Okay. So you got this little spin here, and then almost like this little comma right there. See it? Boom. All going like that. And so you will start to see this fill in here over the next couple of hours. Now, the heaviest weather, see this down here? This will go this way. Okay, that is not coming up. Actually, man, I'm like John Madden over here. Okay, so this will kind of go like this. I think maybe it goes maybe as far north as that line. And that's it. So this is where the worst of it's going to be. All right, this is where the bulk of the severe weather and flash flooding will likely be. Let's say right here. It's not getting into Cape May. It's just my telestrators. Let's say right there. All right, from that line south, that's the area that has the best chance of running into, some messy stuff. Here's a look at the severe. This is the Storm Prediction Center severe weather outlook. And again, so remember how this works, okay? So you have multiple layers here. All right, you have the dark green, which is the isolated. All right, and then you have the yellow, which is the more widespread. Best chance of severe weather today is in that yellow shaded area. Where's the yellow shaded area? Well, it's D.C., it's Fredericksburg, it's Charlottesville, it's Richmond, northwest into the state of West Virginia, Morgantown. That's West Virginia University, right? I think it is. Pittsburgh's in it. Wheeling, West Virginia. Covington, Petersburg, Winchester. Those areas, that's where you have the best chance of running into severe weather today and the first part of tonight. Isolated. Okay, meaning just maybe one or two here. Likely don't see it, but maybe one or two. Okay, isolated. Dover, Wilmington, Millville, Vineland, Cape May. All right, but remember, this is all really late. This is probably late into the evening and overnight. Okay, not today. All right, so remember, this is a 24-hour. You're looking at a map here from 8 a.m. today to 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's the time frame in which the Storm Prediction Center puts these outlooks into effect, 24 hours. They always reset at 8 o'clock in the morning. Now, the threat, again, for these areas, Dover, Wilmington, Millville, Cape May, Vineland, Salem, that's going to be really late. It's going to be this evening and overnight. Westward, Harrisburg, Lancaster, Chambersburg, York, Gettysburg, Johnstown, Altoona, State College, Youngstown, Ohio, Meadville. That's going to be later today. Okay, into the evening. All right, but either way, that's the isolated threat. And then you see that light shade of green right there in Reading, Allentown, Philadelphia, Atlantic City, and all areas north and east. That's just the general thunderstorm threat. What that means is there's a chance that you could get a thunderstorm. That's all that means. Okay, whoop, turn the telestrator off. So that's how the Storm Prediction Center is showing the outlooks today. And out of the outlook, there's your tornado threat. Okay. It is D.C. Let's go from Pittsburgh to in between Baltimore and D.C. to just southwest of Salisbury, Maryland, south. That's your tornado threat. Here's your hail threat, non-existent. Here's your straight line wind event. So again, the area that is really the focus point today is right there, that yellow shaded area. All right, and that's what the system looks like. We'll set it in motion for you again. Again, I think it's going to start filling in a little bit, but right now that's what we're looking at. All right, let's go over to the data and show you what's going on. This is the NBM National Blend of Models. All right, so what this is a really nice product that the National Weather Service created. It's an ensemble. All right, and what that means is it takes on a lot of the short range and the long range forecast guidance, and it gives you an overall general output or a blend of all these models. And the reason why you do this, and we've explained this before, the reason why you do this is because let's say I focused in, there's how many forecast models out there? Let's just say there's 30. I don't even know. I haven't counted, but let's just say there's 25 or 30, okay? Well, what if you liked one particular model and that model showed you a solution and the solution was just wrong? And I'd be out, let's say I wanted to post a GFS right now and I showed you its solution. And I said, all right, this is what's going to happen. I like the GFS model. This is what's going to happen. and then the day comes and goes and just the whole thing was wrong. You've prepared your day entirely off of the data that I have shown you off of that one model. So in order to avoid all of that, we use blends sometimes, okay? And those blends are called ensembles, or in other words, an average of what, the models are thinking. That's what I'm about to show you right here, okay? So this is the national blend. This is what the National Weather Service created. All right, and here's what it looks like. Now, we're starting at 8 o'clock in the morning. Also, if you look towards the upper right, okay, you see where it says, look towards the tippy top there in the right part of the graphic. It says hour 6 valid 12Z Sunday. So, for whatever reason, and I'm still not sure why, they like to do the time in Zulu. All right, this is Zulu time that you're looking at. So 12Z is 12 Zulu. 12 Zulu is 8 o'clock in the morning. All right, so this is where we're starting from. We're going to count the hours down together, okay? So 8 o'clock in the morning, all right, there's 13Z. That's 9, 10, 11 a.m. Notice the light rain starting to break out across the far western counties from Reading southwest, okay, into Lancaster. York is getting wet. Hershey Park is getting wet. Harrisburg is getting wet. Maybe there's a sprinkle or two or a light brief shower there in southern Chester County, but the bulk is still west of there. All right, this is 16Z, which is 18 is 2, 17 is 1. So that's midday. This is 12. All right, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, notice Philadelphia, yes, you're getting a little bit of light rain at 2 o'clock. A little bit. All right, so I said midday, 1 o'clock or so. That's when I thought it was going to start. We'll leave it at that. The model has it actually a little bit later. But this is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Remember, you're looking at the composite reflectivity. The brighter the colors, the heavier the rain is projected to be. So the green is light, but you see that little orange dot there by Lancaster. That's a decent rain coming down. 3, 4. Just now, 4 o'clock, will the shore start to see a couple of raindrops. So you're talking about a large part of the day here down the shore, which looks okay. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m., 11 p.m., there's midnight, 1, 2 in the morning, 3, 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. There could be a couple of leftover showers, especially in New Jersey and Delaware. 7, there's 8 o'clock in the morning. By 9, it's gone. Clouds are breaking for some sunshine by 10. 9 and 10, okay? That's how, right there, that's how the National Blend sees it. Now, I want to show you something, all right? Watch the difference here, because I'm going to show you a very high, this is one particular high-resolution forecast model. This is the NAM 3K. See the difference? 8 o'clock in the morning, okay? It's already got showers out here to the west. According to this model, it should already be raining in parts of Delco, Chester County, areas south of the Pennsylvania Turnpike. Reading should be getting wet. Boyertown, Pottstown, Fleetwood, all should be getting wet. Phoenixville should be getting wet. Wilmington should be seeing some raindrops. Same with Salem. That's according to this high-resolution forecast model, all right? Look. Right here. That's the latest. So we go from that to that. See how much more heavy, how much more real estate this thing. I mean, there's some sprinkles out there, but do you see how much more heavier this is and how much more coverage we have here versus here? Okay, so let's fast forward this and watch what this one shows. All right, it's 11 o'clock in the morning, 12, 1 p.m., 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Didn't show too much. North of the Pennsylvania Turnpike it does, but really that's it. Then watch this. See the heavy thunderstorms coming in? This is around 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. See the difference? So again, remember the National Blend showed this. Front end, and then at the same time, there's 6Z. Look at the difference. That's 6Z tonight, or in other words, 2 o'clock in the morning on the NAM. There's 2 o'clock. There's 2 o'clock in the morning on the Blend. Blend, high-res NAM. Blend, high-res NAM. Okay, so, and that's part of why I use the blend. All right. And I'm not saying this is wrong. It could be right, but this is the only model that's showing it. So, we'll just say, look, there's going to be, again, some light rain and some showers breaking out during the afternoon. And then overnight, there could be a downpour and a thunderstorm, and we'll leave it at that. I think that's a good call right now. Rainfall totals. All right, here's the national blend. You're not going to get flash flooding that way, right? Okay. Now, look at the NAM. See the difference? All right, blend, NAM. I'm going to lean this way with the blend. Now, the blend still shows an inch of rain in places like Reading and north and west of Reading, maybe 1 to 1.5, or maybe even 2. But a large part of the area, we're talking about maybe a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. Whereas the NAM says, hold my beer. We got 1 inch or more in Gloucester County. We've got over 2 inches and 3 inches in portions of Berks County, which I got to tell you, it might not be a bad thing, right? Because you're still in the drought there. The Lehigh Valley, 1 to 2. And that you notice there's just a lot larger of an area that has 1 to 2 and even 1 to 3 versus what the blend shows. Okay? SPC has this, WPC, Weather Prediction Center, has this. All right, so what we're looking at here is, this is the flash. If you remember how they do it, the Storm Prediction Center on their scale goes 1 to 5, okay? 1 being isolated, 2 being scattered, 3 being numerous, 4 and 5 being, all right, look, we're talking, severe weather and tornado outbreaks, okay? Well, the Weather Prediction Center kind of does the same thing with their excessive rainfall outlook. 1, which is the green shade, is isolated. 2, which is the yellow, is more, scattered or widespread. 3 and 4 is when you start talking about numerous, and now it's an outbreak, okay? So they break it down too, just like that. And so what they're talking about here for the potential for excessive rain today is, in that shade of green, there could be an isolated area or 2 that picks up flash flooding over the next 24 hours. The more concentrated area, if we even get it at all, would be out there in the yellow shade, which is Lancaster County, most of Chester County, Berks County, almost all of Lehigh County, and a portion of Carbon County, all of Schuylkill County. Dauphin County's involved in that, and Harrisburg, York County, Lebanon County. That's where Hershey Park is, right? So those are the areas there that have the best chance of running into some flash flooding over the next 24 hours. Okay. Whew. All right, so there you go. So that's just, I know I just threw a lot at you, but that's some of the stuff that, I kind of dissect on a daily basis. You got to look. And what I've learned, is a lot of times that national blend ends up doing a really good job. Yes, it's going to miss here or there. They all do. There's no forecast model out there that is... The European model is widely regarded as the most accurate forecast model out there. I mean, leaps and bounds, it does a better job over all the global models and a lot of the short-range models too. But even that one's not perfect. They all make mistakes. I've seen the European bomb badly. It bombed. Remember the blizzard? The GFS of all storms was nailing that thing from day one, whereas the Euro had like 30-something inches of snow down there in D.C., and then it had like 20-something in Philly. What did Philly pick up, 12? Yeah, you know what I mean? So, I mean, and, so the GFS had nailed that from day one, whereas the Euro just wasn't feeling it at all. And the GFS scored the victory, the rare victory over the European model. So even the Euro struggles from time to time. They all just, you got to think about the forecast models, right? Who made the forecast models? We did. Man, we make mistakes. They're made out of physical equations. So if I guess what I'm trying to say is, until man is perfect, until we are perfect, then and only then will these forecast models be perfect. In other words, it ain't happening. Weather is weather, and it's always got to be weather. But, like we talked about, we got into this conversation the other day, the AI models, okay? The AI models are really, really interesting. The whole makeup of the model, the whole general idea of AI being put into these forecast models is really, honestly, it's really, really neat. And it's going to be really interesting over the next, let's give it 3 to 5 years, okay? Because what these models are supposed to do is they're supposed to learn as they see, like, for example, one of the AI, let's just say the AI models came out 2 years ago. I don't know when they first came on board, but let's just say 2 years ago. So we'll give it 3 more years. And the reason why I'm giving it 5 years is because these models are supposed to, as time goes on, they're supposed to see these patterns that they've already experienced. They recognize it and they say, okay, this is what happens in this particular pattern, so this is what you're going to get. That's how the AI works. There's no physical equation in them. So it's completely different than how the forecast models are used today and what goes into the forecast models today. Today the forecast models are observations, including, the weather balloons and everything that goes up into the air. And it's a physical equation, putting all this data into a physical equation, initializing off of observations, what it sees across not just the United States, but the globe. Okay? And then, boom, it spits out a solution, and that's what you get. That's how the models work today. It doesn't work like that with AI. AI, it's just looking, and it's supposed to see everything, and then as it recognizes patterns that it has seen in months and years in the past, it's able to, put it all together, and boom, here's your solution, and that's what you're going to get. So it's going to be really, really interesting with this AI over the next, I'm going to say 3 years. We'll give it 5 years total. And I hope it, AI is scary in that it can take jobs, and I don't care what your employer says. The bottom line is, if they can save money, they're going to. All right, if that means slashing jobs, they're going to. So from that perspective, AI scares me because I don't want to see people lose jobs. You know what I mean? At the same time, there's a lot of potential good in this AI, especially in the medical field, right? And think about it. If it can nail, what if we get to a point 3 or 4 years from now where AI can absolutely nail a winter storm from like 4 or 5 days out? Think about all the planning that you could get done 3 or 4 or 5 days in advance. Airlines, travel plans, things like that. So I mean, it's interesting when you look at it from both points of view. You know what I mean? Very, very interesting. Okay, we're at 8 o'clock in the morning. Do we have any questions? Overcast in Delco. That's what Sandy says. Let's see. I still don't know why my chat's not working over here. I'm going to have to ask my buddy Drew down there in northern Alabama. No, it's not Chris's birthday. No. My birthday's in October. My birthday needs to slow. I don't need my birthday to get here. You ever notice, when you're a kid, you love birthdays? Can't wait for my birthday. And then all of a sudden you hit this certain age where you're just like, oh, great, it's my birthday again. oh, great, it's another birthday. Oh, hey, it's another birthday. Great. Yeah, that's kind of how I'm at now. I'm just like, oh, the number just keeps getting higher and higher, and I'm not too happy about that. Good morning and happy birthday from Cape Coral. Margie is in the house. Hello there, my friend. We have, let's see. Good morning, Chris. Wishing you a great day from Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Mount Laurel. How are you? We've got, let's see, a lot of people online. Thank you so much for tuning in. People are wishing Dawn Hartman a happy birthday. Oh, and by the way, hold on, let me do this real quick. Somebody asked me to do this, and I don't want to forget where. Let's see. Okay, so you guys ready for this? I got a nice message from Mandy Mignon. I hope I pronounced that right. She says, hi, I know this is a long shot, but my mom is turning 70 today and loves you. Literally talks about you all the time. Thank you. That is so nice. Would you be willing to make a happy birthday grace video? If not, no worries. Appreciate you and the joy you bring to others. Well, Mandy, here, I'm going to sing it, okay? Wait, what's your mom's name? Okay. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mandy's mom. Happy birthday to you. Make it a great day. 70 years old, 70 years young. Congratulations. Hopefully the weather cooperates where you are. You didn't tell me where you live. Hopefully the weather cooperates where you are for a while and you have at least a good first part of the day before some of the raindrops move on in. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. That's going to do it for me. I think I'm taking Paigey and Lori to the zoo today because we still have not gotten to the zoo. How long have we been talking about the zoo? I think everybody's, Lori's off, and I'm going to take some time away from the computer here for a few hours today. And I think we're going to go to the zoo. And she wants to go to the playground. And she wants ice cream. So we're going to have our hands full. But I will see you back again later this evening at 7:30. By then, it's probably coming down, so I'll probably be inside. But you guys have a great day, okay? Take care, everyone.
Forecasting the weather takes preparation. So does buying a home. Hello, everyone. I'm meteorologist Chris Sowers, and welcome to Weichert Realtors in Washington Township, the power of yellow. Come join us and experience the full service advantage of our yellow team. Whether you're buying, selling, or refinancing, we've got everything you need under one roof. Real estate, title services, mortgages, and insurance. One team, one trusted name, one-stop shopping for all your real estate needs. Weichert Realtors in Washington Township, the bright choice. Hello, everyone. Meteorologist Chris Sowers here. People come up to me all the time and they ask me, who do you trust to do work on your home? Well, for me, the answer's simple. It's Bobby and Tim at Realistic Exterior. They've earned a reputation for quality roofing and siding across Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware by doing the job right and standing by the work that they do. Just take a look at all of their 5-star reviews. That right there pretty much tells you everything you need to know. Try their free AI roof estimate tool. It'll give you a ballpark estimate before you even schedule an appointment, so you'll know what to expect. Now, I have to tell you something about this Bobby. He's just one of those guys you don't forget. Visit realisticexterior.com and watch his videos. You'll laugh, you'll see his personality, his passion, and you'll understand why homeowners trust him and his team. For quality craftsmanship, honest service, and a contractor that you can count on, call Realistic Exterior. The weather can be unpredictable at times, but your contractor shouldn't be.